It is official. The moment you guys have all been waiting on. Jaxson Dart and Michael Trigg have officially committed to Ole Miss, and they'll be in class Monday to get ready for spring football and to start their process moving forward. I'm Stephen Willis. This is a extra Locked On podcast.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, I'm Stephen Willis. It's the Locked On Ole Miss podcast, extra. We're going to talk about the news that Jaxson Dart and Michael Trigg are officially Ole Miss Rebels. Real quick, I want to thank you for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. So it's the new year, and that means New Year's resolutions. If yours is about getting fit or eating healthier, make sure a Built Bar is in your plans. Built Bar makes it easier to stick to your resolution because it tastes so good. You'll want to eat it, unlike other protein bars that can be chalky, waxy, or taste like a chemical spill. You want to eat healthy, but it just gets so boring. So by week 3, you might be thinking, this just isn't worth it. Where's the chocolate? Well, Built Bars are 100% real chocolate. So here's an idea for the new year. Go to all your secret treat stashes, at home, in the pantry, at the office, in the car, wherever. Throw out all the sugary, calorie-filled snacks and replace them with Built Bars. So even when you're craving a snack or treat, you can reach for something that's healthy and tastes incredible. Even if you're not a huge fan of working out, you can at least eat something that tastes good and is good for you. That way, when you eat a delicious Built Bar, you can almost count it as a workout. And also, there are so many flavors to choose from. Coconut almond, peanut butter brownie, raspberry, cookies and cream, salted caramel, mint brownie, and many more. In fact, Built is always coming out with new limited time flavors. So check out Built.com often to see what's new. So go to Built.com, use promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at Built.com. So, again, the big news of the day is Jaxson Dart and Michael Trigg are committed. So, basically what we need to talk about now is what exactly this means and what exactly this looks like. And in the coming weeks, we are going to talk about exactly that. What does this mean? This isn't poo-pooing on Luke Altmaier. There's going to be a competition. You can plan on something without assuming it's going to happen, and you don't necessarily have to root for one party over the other if you're rooting for both parties to win. Simple as that. Jaxson Dart wins the job, we're exactly where we think we're going to be. If Luke Altmaier beats him out, we're still a pretty damn good team. So that's what it stands with Luke Altmaier and Jaxson Dart right now. So the late night announcement by Michael Trigg, he had a graphic. He announced he was going to play football and basketball at Ole Miss. Now, Michael Trigg is an under-the-radar type prospect. He's somebody you need to keep an eye on. He is, a bigger Evan Ingram is the type of receiver he is. He moves really well. He's excellent. He's got a frame that is just absolutely fantastic, and he just screams NFL draft pick when you see him play. He's a guy that, for lack of a better term, needs a bunch of service. Now, at USC, under Graham Harrell before, it was an air raid offense. And air raid offenses, even though it might be tweaked a little bit here or there, is going to function kind of the same way. So somebody like Michael Trigg, even though he's a weapon, might be at a disadvantage and be asked to do different type things, more spread out, not so much attached on the line, not so much as at an H-back position or something like that. So the Lane Kiffin offense and the fact that he was able to take Harrison Bryant at FAU and win the Mackey Award as the top tight end of the country was the feather in his cap. This offense is the same as it's been. It doesn't matter about offensive coordinators. Kendall Briles put the offense in. It went to Charlie Weis Jr. Here at Ole Miss, Jeff Lebby put the offense in, just like Kendall Briles, and then it's going to Charlie Weis Jr. And you'll also see some John David Baker with some interesting concepts. I think he does a little bit of more of the air raid type stuff, but there are some interesting concepts in there. But the baseline of this offense will be extremely quick tempo. We're going to substitute infrequently, and we're going to use tempo as our number one weapon. It doesn't matter if we run, doesn't matter who gets the ball. Are we featuring Elijah Moore or are we featuring Braylon Sanders? The offense might look different, but it's the same offense. And there's certain people that just do not understand that, and that is okay. There are going to be casuals on that side and casuals on this side, and if you get frustrated by what's going on, you would be in for a long day. So my advice to you, if you are a serious guy that understands this stuff, is to not really pay attention to what's going on in the background. There's a bunch of people that are becoming more interested now because they can, and it's a big deal. Now, the other thing is Jaxson Dart is coming in. He's the former Gatorade National Player of the Year, not the Utah Gatorade Player of the Year or like the Mississippi Gatorade Player of the Year. The former National Player of the Year, the equivalent of the Heisman Trophy in high school football. I know the Wendy's has the high school Heisman, but this is the major award across the country. He went to USC for 1 year, and when Lincoln Riley made it known that he was going to try and get Caleb Williams and bring it in, Jaxson Dart waited to see if Caleb was going to come. When he knew that Caleb was either going to come or the time was getting a little bit too late, Jaxson just started to shag because he was in an untenable situation, and that is fine. Lane Kiffin has done a fantastic job recruiting him. Absolutely fantastic job. The rumor is Michael Trigg committed on their visit in early January, and there was a transcript issue that they needed to get taken care of. Rumor is like 3 or 4 days later, Jaxson Dart was ready to go to Ole Miss as well, but he wasn't quite sure. He wanted to see what was going on. Now, people are going to say that Jaxson Dart and Michael Trigg were attached to the hips because of what happened at the end. But if Jaxson Dart would have went to somewhere like BYU, Michael Trigg would not have followed. Michael Trigg would have probably ended up here regardless. Now, Oklahoma, that might have been a little different, but I just don't think they got far enough down the road with Oklahoma for it to matter, because Dylan Gabriel basically put a giant roadblock on that recruitment. I mean, it is what it is. So there might be less football being played, but BetOnline has way more stuff to bet on this playoff season. From scored totals to player performance props to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the number one sport for all things NFL betting in 2022. And with the new year comes a new updated desktop and mobile website. To sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit, just use our promo code LOCKEDON to get started. And it's not just football. BetOnline's basketball, hockey, boxing, and UFC odds coverage is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your number one wagering destination. So BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts. Now, this is going to be the first Gatorade National Player of the Year that Ole Miss Football has had the pleasure of coaching. This is a new era in Ole Miss football. And we're going to talk about it later, but I don't think this affects Arch in the slightest. The timeline doesn't match up. Arch still has a year of high school. If he signs with Ole Miss, he can plan on redshirting, sitting behind a guy for 1 year, and take over in year two what's going on with his. And Eli redshirted. Peyton planned on redshirting. That's probably not a big deal for the Mannings. Just a heads up. But Michael Trigg is a weapon at the tight end position. Mix him with Jalen Knox in the inside. Remember, this offense basically at its core tortures linebackers. Every pass has a run tag. Every run has a pass tag. Linebackers really can't be right if they start guessing. Now, there's a way that you can make it difficult by forcing Ole Miss to do what you want them to do. And if you do that, it can look where, like Ole Miss did against LSU last year, or Ole Miss did against Arkansas last year, and this is 2020 when I say last year. So Jaxson Dart's going to have to come in and win the job. There's going to be a fierce competition because one of the tenets of this program is competition. If you go with fun and pro mindset, those are the three tenets of the Ole Miss football plan. Now, understanding all of that, you can understand the direction this is going to go. Jaxson Dart made freshman-like mistakes in his first year at USC. That's going to happen. It's going to have to be coached up. It's not going to be perfect next year. It might be talented next year, but it's probably not going to be perfect. Understand that. Zach Evans in the backfield will help. Jalen Knox at the slot receiver will help. Michael Trigg at tight end will help. Absolutely. But it will not look perfect. But it has a chance to be at least at a level what it was this year. And I say that knowing that as good as Matt Corral was and as beloved as Matt Corral was, the last 6 games of the season, the offense kind of sputtered, kind of struggled between injuries at the wide receiver position, injuries at the quarterback position. The running backs couldn't really get going because there was no real threat on the outside or at the quarterback position. Understanding that lets you know that at a baseline, you saw at the beginning of the year what this offense can look like. We'll see what it looks like with a sophomore Jaxson Dart, potentially. Could be Luke Altmaier. But the money's going to be on Jaxson Dart, being a former Gatorade National Player of the Year. And this recruitment wouldn't have been handled this way if he didn't have a leg up. Luke Altmaier is really going to have to beat him out, by the way. He's not winning a tie in this competition. Just understand that. Now, if it's a tie, that means if one goes down, the other one's just as good, but you know what I'm saying. So you take all of that, take in the knowledge that Jared Ivey is in town right now. He's a defensive end from Georgia Tech. He's about 6'6", 225. He's kind of a thin guy to be so tall, but he's on an official visit as we speak. Now, he has to enroll by Monday. I'm sure all of that is in place for that to happen, but they're trying to get that done. He's on his visit and went on it real quick, and crystal balls are flowing in for him to go to Ole Miss. He's a former 4-star recruit, like we're seeing all over the place. Ole Miss has a chance to do 12 or 13 4-stars in this class. It's just unheard of. And because of that, because of the official visit, I don't think he's allowed to commit or enroll or whatever the next, like whenever you sign a recruit, you have to go off campus a little bit first and then do whatever. There's some sort of bureaucratic rule with the NCAA that I don't think he can just stay on campus today and enroll on Monday and whatever. I think he's going to have to leave campus. I think his picture was taken with the Porsche tonight. And that got posted online. So I'm assuming that's the end of his official visit. He's probably going to leave campus. He's going to go back to Atlanta, and he's going to be here Monday morning. And that is my guess. I'm not really predicting that he commits, but if it does go right, that is how it's going to work out. So I do want to thank everybody for tuning in. This has been a special extra video that Michael Trigg and Jaxson Dart are finally official. And it's a big day. Raise your expectations, Rebel fans, because we went from next year potentially being a little bit of a struggle, we just didn't know, to all of a sudden the reload factor of this team is something to behold. So tune in Monday. We will talk about what this signing means. We'll have more on Jared Ivey if something happens. And we'll start to look at what 2022 will actually look like and what they're going to try and work on in spring practice. So it should be a lot of fun.